All right, guys, we're good. Yep. Jamie. Jamie. Yep. Hey everybody, if you just tuned in, we are going to do a bunch of rugs on this live. One that has some existing bleeding. We're going to do one and urine, and then we're going to clean a shag rug, which I know everybody likes watching. And also, we want to thank everybody for, we hit 10,000 subscribers, so thank you very much. And we'll do a little community post on that later. So this first rug we're cleaning here, just a pretty regular run-of-the-mill synthetic rug. And if you guys have never seen our channel before, we are ATC Rug Washing. And we are coming to you live from a beautiful sunny day here in Long Island, New York. Farmingdale specifically. And whenever I do these lives, if you're watching, you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer anything about rug cleaning, cleaning in general, or really anything. You know, we're here, so. So again, we are doing the synthetic rug. We just started this one right here. Over there in the corner, that is a rug with a tremendous amount of pet urine on it. And it is just kind of sitting there right now soaking in our pet treatment. So what we're going to do, because we're an active rug shop, we don't just, like on some of the other channels you see where they're just kind of making content for you guys, they do, you know, they have the ability to do one rug at a time. But we have, obviously, we have to clean basically like 35, 40 rugs today. So we have to kind of make use of the space we have and the time we have. So this rug here with no urine, just dirt, we can kind of clean a rug like this in between another rug that has to sit and wait. And if you tuned in a little bit after we started this, for 95% of the rugs that we clean, the first step is we actually just wet them and run. You can actually see a lot of dirt coming out here. We just wet them, run our brush, and just see how much loose dirt we can get out. And then we put down our rug shampoo, which is what they did on the front. There's not really a ton of dwell time on it, but we always like to turn the rug upside down, do the back before we rinse the front, because we get, just from the gravity, we get a lot of that dirt start to pull down. And you can see that dirt is just starting to kind of leak out right in the front of the rug, and he's going to, just the machine, the weight of the machine is going to start to push some of this out. And again, we are ATC Rug Washing here in Long Island, New York. If you have any questions or you want to tell us where you guys are tuning in from, these lives are kind of crazy. We get people from all over the world watching. And again, yeah, just anything you guys want to ask us or talk about, by all means, please ask. And what Joe's doing now, he's putting some water under the rug, and that's going to kind of flush away all that loose dirt that is now accumulating on the front of the rug now that it's upside down. Oh, and I'm not wearing my boots, but for the content, I'll get my feet wet. And you can see how much is starting to actually come out of here. And here's my wet shoes. Hello, Dawn from Wales. Thank you for watching. Now my feet are wet. Yeah, this is my fault. All right, I'm going to get myself a little drier. Here we go. Okay. If at any point you see our camera getting a little crazy, it's because we are using a new stabilizer for the camera, and it has a little bit of a mind of its own sometimes. I got a pretty good hand on it, but our camera girl, Jamie here, she's a little, she really hasn't used it much, so if I pass it off to her and it gets a little nuts, just bear with us. Thank you, Dawn. Well, these lives, they're going to be, they're usually over an hour. So if you got the time, you'll get to see actually the genuine full process of us cleaning rugs. Ooh, starting to look a little brighter. If you guys are just tuning in, we really appreciate you tuning in. Thank you for watching. And we are ATC Rug Washing here in Long Island. We are going to be in New York. We're going to be cleaning a handful of rugs today. Probably going to be on live for at least an hour. Right now we are in the middle of cleaning this first rug that obviously you're watching. We got another rug in the back there that's rolled up. That rug is covered in urine. It's sitting in our pet treatment. There's a rug you can't see right now, a big red rug that we're going to clean after that. And then we got this shaggy one here. I know, Don, it's crazy, right? And if you guys have any questions about cleaning or anything you want to ask us, tell us where you're from, by all means, please, I'm here. I would think we should do on this, we should wet it, run the brush underneath, and yeah. All right, so we're seeing a lot of dirt still in this rug. There's a couple of different ways that we can attack that. The first thing we're going to try is to just agitate the rug with more water, see how much more we can get out. And the reason for that is, honestly, just we're going to get more dirt out. Before we put more soap down that has to try to fight through loose dirt to get to the more stubborn dirt, we might as well get out what we can. We can. Well, my name is Pat Santoro. I am one of the owners here. My father, he just left. We'll introduce him later. Now these guys, how did I find these guys? This is Joe. I've known Joe probably around 30 years. He's a good friend of mine. I know Anthony a little less than that. I actually went to high school with both of them. This handsome fellow here is my cousin. I know him since he's born. And then we actually have, hold on, I'll get him in a minute, but we do have a couple of non-family members working here. Although in the background, let's see. In the background, in the distance, you might see, I'll show them later, my wife's cousins, they're twins, they work here. And then we have Manuel, who's basically at this point like family. He's been here for like 15 years. It took a long time. And I also have a newer guy. His name is Juan, who is Manny's brother-in-law. So it's a family business. And Zach's sister right here, Jamie, she does all of our filming. And like I was saying, now the camera's going a little nuts. Oh, and I fixed it. Nice. Oh, and actually Juan just showed up. Hold on. There he is. And there they are in the background, the twins. Jason, Justin, wave. Wave. There they are. Okay. The foam explosion, Ron. So when you're cleaning, when you're actually cleaning rugs to get them clean, some of the chemistry actually inhibits foam, especially the chemistry that breaks down body oils and any kind of dog body oil, or just for people like, especially on furniture, living on couches and walking barefoot. A lot of these rugs, especially these synthetic rugs like we're watching here, they accumulate a ton of body oil. Now, all the chemistry that you have to use to break down that body oil actually inhibits foam. And a lot of videos you're seeing on YouTube are people making, not everybody, but there's a bunch of people who make rugs and make rugs dirty on purpose and clean them. And they don't have to worry about actually getting the rug clean. They just have to worry about cleaning the dirt they put on it. Which, if it's regular, even if it's mud, it's very easy to clean. But when we're actually working on rugs that people are living on, and we're coming across different situations on rugs that, especially different materials, like you don't see a lot of other channels showing, unless like there's a bunch, Advanced Cleaning Systems, they're a genuine rug shop. There's a whole bunch of genuine rug shops. But when you're not going to see an insanely filthy, covered in mud wool rug usually be cleaned for a customer. And the reason for that is because, honestly, that rug is more than likely ruined and nobody would want to pay us to clean it. So some of these rugs you will see more foam than others, to go back to your question. But in general, we're actually just cleaning rugs that are genuinely dirty for customers. Is there ever a day I don't want to go into work? Usually Sundays. And usually like to play golf once or twice a week, so all of us do. But as long as if I only work 5-6 days, I don't care how long I'm here, I'm always having a good time when I'm here. And actually, where we live in New York, it's pretty boring in the wintertime. We're relatively slow because it's cold here, and everybody kind of goes with the assumption that in the winter, from the snow and the salt and everything's just going to get dirtier. So we really do a lot less work in the summer, in the winter. So we all kind of get like a 3-month hiatus here. All right, so this rug that they just broke out now, actually, hold on. So you can see our centrifuge. After all that rinsing and cleaning of that last rug that you just saw, this is how much dirt our centrifuge actually still gets out. Now we're gonna clean. We run this machine typically, especially a rug this dirty. We run it for 10 minutes, occasionally more than that. They usually don't need more than that. And what you're seeing right now is not just the water in the rug. We are putting new water into the rug to further rinse out the dirt. We usually give every rug two, usually 3, sometimes 4 or 5 rinses in the machine. Now this rug we're doing here, this was off to the side. It had a bunch of urine on it. Our pet treatment's been sitting for about a good 40 minutes or so now. And now we're going to rinse all that out, try to get as much of the urine out, and then actually clean the rug. And Ron, if you're still watching, this one might be a little bit foamier. All right, so we're seeing definitely a little bit of yellow there, which is pretty normal. And that means our pet treatment is working, but not too crazy. I think that side's a little bit worse. So the dog, this is an older dog, I think, kind of living on this. Yeah, right there. So you can kind of see where, whenever we're cleaning, we can always tell, obviously what spots are worse and where we have to put a little bit more attention. Yeah, but it looks like that side there definitely has a little more urine. I'm sure there's a Ron. I'm sure there's there's definitely a rug shop somewhere in Chicago. You should. It's actually kind of fun work. Do you have any? Do you do any cleaning now or anything? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Ron. I hope hope you're doing all right. Best of luck with everything. Now, usually we're going to get less dirt out during this step because this rug's already been rinsed so many times and has had our pet treatment, which does have a little bit of soap in it. But let's see. Oh, well, thank you, Ron. We really appreciate you watching. Thank you. Not too bad on this one here. And let's see, this side is where we're going to see if we see anything. Let's see. Better. Yeah, not too bad. All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yep. Yeah, a little bit. Not too bad. All right, so while they're rinsing that again, let's take a look at how this one came out.
Good.
Pretty clean, yeah. Not bad at all. And I don't know if, I'm going to guess a lot of people don't know this, but a big part of rug cleaning is sunlight. And on any kind of given day, we put out a whole bunch of tarps here in the parking lot. And we lay out a bunch of different rugs for a bunch of different reasons. So certain rugs that we've cleaned that we're a little bit worried about bleeding, we try to get them out in the sunlight to get them dry quicker. It's like 80 something degrees here today. It does help quite a bit. There's other rugs that once we've cleaned them, we are trying to work on taking some stains out of, especially urine stains. Chemistry with UV light, it does help us quite a bit to start to remove them. So this is just a typical day out here in our parking lot. There's a whole bunch of rugs out here. We actually have a back of the building too that we occasionally put rugs out as well. So this rug out here, this is a viscose rug. Now there's some brown in the rug, but the rug itself, some of these other areas, turned a little bit brown, and that happens a lot when they dry. After you clean them, they dry too slowly, and it's something with sunlight and the right chemistry that we can reverse. Sorry, I'm dying. And this is how many we've started to clean all day. And I got the twins over here. They're actually doing a rug by hand right now. There are certain rugs that it just makes more sense. It's safer for the rug to do it by hand. And that's what they're doing over there. Let's actually take a little look. I kind of wish I had a before picture. This rug looks much better. Yep. You see all the dirt they're getting off. And a lot of smaller, older rugs, it just makes sense to take our time. And even if we have to clean them 4 or 5 times, we just clean them by hand. And that way, a lot of our machines are very big. They work really well for big rugs. But obviously, if we take this big floor machine and try to run it on that little rug, we're going to have a problem. All right, guys. So the next rug we're going to do is this red rug here. And this is we've cleaned this rug before. This is a pretty unique rug. The customer really likes the rug, but because of the pet issues and the dog urine, and just kind of living on it, and actually I think they rented something from Home Depot to try to clean it themselves. They've actually caused a lot of bleeding in certain areas. And when we open it up, I'll show it to you. All right, guys, let's get them, let's get them this big red one. Let's help him with this. Yes, definitely put some dye release into this rug. In some of our videos, you might hear us say the words dye release. That is a product that, on a molecular level, if the colors run on a rug, it will bind them together so they become too big to go into other places on the rug. Now, does that mean it always works? No. Especially on cotton fringes, it's almost impossible for that product to work all the time. Cotton is extremely absorbent and can hold really any size on a molecular level that we make the dye. Okay, so as they open this, let's see. Okay, so you can kind of see right here, maybe a little hard to see on camera, but like right here, there's some color bleed already. You can see how rich and red the middle of the rug looks, and then you come to the sides, and it's, well, from here you can definitely see the bleeding. But over here it looks like much lighter. That's from the customer trying to clean this themselves, and they actually pulled some of the color out. So our main objective when we clean this is to try to remove, obviously, the urine first, and then we'll try to see how much of this we can fix if we can. It's going to be very difficult because it's been sitting here so long, and honestly, we really don't know what chemistry they've used to cause this problem. Plus, there's urine on there, so there's a big mix of things kind of on this rug. But yes, go ahead. Yes. No. So actually, what I want to do, I want to make triple D. Let's make some triple D. Put dye release in it. and we'll see what happens. So Ron, our prices, they're all by the square foot. It's pretty big range. It's anywhere between the cheapest, if you have a synthetic rug and you bring it to us, there's no pet issues, something like that's going to be around $2 a square foot. If you have multiple rugs, maybe a little cheaper. All the way up to $5 a square foot, depending on really the type of rug and what's going on with it. And we do a couple of repairs in-house. We also outsource some repairs. We don't really do any like repairs to the wool itself. So we work with people who, if there's a hole in a rug, they can make it look like the hole was never there. That's just something that we don't really do here. But we do, like on tufted rugs, we replace backings. Sometimes we'll do just much smaller repairs. We'll fix bindings. We do a lot of different repairs to synthetic rugs. It's a lot easier to work with. But as a general number, somewhere between $2 and $5 a square foot. The red lines and everything. Yes, all of them, right? Yeah, grab them. We'll start them. So now, in general, when you watch any of our channels and you see a rug bleed, there could be two things going on. There's obviously rug bleeding, and there's also something called crocking. Crocking happens a lot when we clean rugs, especially if a rug has been washed for the first time. Crocking is over dyeing, and a lot of rugs that are made by hand, they dye the wool in big batches, and there's just a lot of extra loose dye. And when we clean the rugs, a lot of that will wash off. Now on this rug, I think we're definitely past that. This definitely has existing bleeding on it, and I wouldn't be surprised if right in the beginning of the cleaning process, we start to see color come out. Now again, our customer really likes this rug. It fits in their room. They don't want to buy a new one. And as long as we can get the odor out, and we do guarantee 100% odor removal, they will be very happy. If their bleeding gets a little bit worse or gets better, they're not too worried about it. But anytime we take a rug in, we have especially in this condition, we have a pretty good discussion with our customers just to make sure that we're all on the same page. Let's see. Yep, and there's red coming out. Now sometimes this does happen to us on a rug that looks brand new. It looks like it's not bleeding, and usually has no existing bleeding damage, and usually that means the rug is crocking. Woo! Lots of red on that one. Woo! There you go. Okay. But again, a rug like this that has existing bleeding damage, all we're trying to do is get the urine out first, and then we'll kind of go from there. And it's a pretty bad combination of urine in general, which has a tendency to make rugs bleed. And then also, I have no idea what chemistry they use to try to clean the rug with. A lot of the stuff that you rent at Home Depot or any kind of hardware store by you is really designed for wall-to-wall carpet. Wall-to-wall carpet is basically made out of plastic. It is not made out of wool. Every once in a while it is made out of wool, but when we come across wall-to-wall carpet that's made of wool, it is much more durable, and I wouldn't recommend running a machine from Home Depot with it, but you might get lucky. But if you take a wool rug like this and you put a high pH chemical, and that's what that is from those machines that you rent, you're basically going to ruin your rug. And this is going to be a very, very colorful day here. And you can see again, I can see it in the foam here. There's just tons of red coming out. Now, the chemistry that we're using for this rug, we added something to it, if you're just tuning in now, that on a molecular level will actually bind all this loose color together, so it becomes too big to migrate and go into the other colors of the rug. Now on the fringes, just this level of red is probably going to get in those fringes, and we're going to have to do something about that later. But we're pretty much expecting this from the get-go. And again, the main objective is to get the urine out of the rug. And I see a bunch of people tuned in now. Again, we are cleaning a rug that has existing bleeding damage, that has a lot of urine on it, and our customer here tried to clean on their own. And whenever you try to clean a rug like this on your own and you rent something from Home Depot, the chemistry they provide is a very high pH. It's usually around somewhere between a 10 and 11, which is designed for plastic. It's designed for wall-to-wall carpeting. It is not designed for a handmade wool rug. And yeah, you can see all this color. And a ton it's hard to see on the black floor, but we can see a ton of red. Make sure you get all this red here. There's a ton of red right here. Yep, yep. And my legs are wet. But that's my fault because I didn't wear boots. And definitely, Joe, you're going to want to push off all this loose color. Go ahead, yeah. No, go ahead. Yeah, all this loose color, let's get it off the rug. Yeah. Yeah. And it's gonna look like we murdered somebody in the centrifuge. Now, a lot of times, too, when we're cleaning and a rug starts to bleed like this, if it was a rug that didn't have any pet issues and the customer didn't do anything to it, we would just assume it's crocking, and you would start to see this color level go down. It would start to look like less and less colors coming out. We are not probably going to see that today on this rug. Now, our centrifuge, we are still going to use it, but we have to use it a little bit differently than you normally see in anybody's videos. And we'll go over that when we get to that point in the video, but it's a little bit of a different change. And that's kind of why I wanted to do this live for you guys. And if you guys are just tuning in, I'm Pat with ATC Rug Washing here in sunny, beautiful Long Island, New York today. And we already cleaned 2 rugs, and we are now doing this red rug here with existing bleed damage and urine. And that's why you are seeing all this red come out. That red is not our doing. But it is our job to clean it, so we're going to. And if you guys have any questions about rug cleaning or want to tell us where you're from, just please, by all means, we are here to answer any questions you got. And you guys can see all the red coming out. And I know if you've been watching, I'm going to keep repeating myself, but I don't want anybody who tunes in later to think that we're in the middle of ruining this rug. So again, if you are tuning in now, what we are doing here is we are cleaning a rug that has existing bleeding damage. So all this red that you're seeing come out of it, we were expecting to happen. This customer tried to clean this rug themselves, and they caused a lot of bleeding damage, and the rug has urine, which sometimes itself will cause a ton of damage. So we are now going to turn this rug over. You want to go that way? Yeah. I would maybe put it on a pole. Yeah, I would put it on a pole. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so our pet treatment is on this rug. We are actually going to roll this rug over to the side, let it just do its thing. Again, the main objective here is to get rid of the urine. Hey, Peggy. Yes, so the urine is definitely helping to cause the bleeding, but our customer here rented a machine from Home Depot and used their chemistry, and I have no idea what temperature water, and they told me as they were cleaning it, they could see the red coming out. So it's a combination of both. And for us as cleaners, sometimes it's the hardest part of cleaning is when we get a rug, or actually anything, a couch, anything that we clean that a customer's tried to clean, because now we have their original stain and we have no idea what else they used. And it actually does, in a lot of cases, change the chemistry of the stain completely. So obviously now we're going to wash the floor. We're going to get rid of all this red. And we are going to clean this shag rug here while this rug soaks in our pet treatment. And again, when we have a rug like this, the main objective is this rug has to go back in a customer's home. So we have to get all that urine out and decontaminate the rug before we try to do anything else. Because to bring them a rug back that's contaminated, it just would completely defeat the purpose of why we're cleaning it. Okay, so we are going to do the shag rug now. And it looks like somebody got murdered in the trough. Perfect. Now, for this type of rug, this is a shag rug, obviously. It's a pretty low pile shag. And it is made out of a synthetic material. This is the type of rug that if you were in your house and you wanted to try to clean it, this would be a much better option than the red one here that we have. Perfect. Yep, normal clean. Now this rug doesn't have any urine, any pet issues, no mold or mildew, it wasn't in a flood or anything like that. We actually, if you watch our channel, you'll see sometimes we work with a couple of restoration companies. So we get a lot of rugs that have been in fires, have smoke damage, or get in floods. And those ones usually stink and they look terrible. They actually look worse than the urine rugs when we clean them. Sometimes you see, like, we had a video recently with a ton of just, it looked like black, like coffee coming out. That's all from flood. And believe it or not, flood water is literally some of the most dangerous, it's the most dangerous thing that anybody can come across when they're cleaning. It's called a Category 3 loss. Now you're seeing he's wetting this rug, and it is just soaking up all that water. Yeah. Run the brush on the white floor. Get the red out of the brush. So wet the floor. Yeah, there you go. All right, and actually, we're just going to just try to rinse some of the red out of this. Now, it's not going to go into this shag rug because, again, it's made of plastic. But just as a general rule, it's pretty good to get as much of that color out as possible. And the first step, whenever we clean a rug, and we don't usually show this on camera because it's kind of boring, is we run the machine with just water on a rug to see if we can get any loose dirt out before we do anything. Peggy, are you talking about the red rug or the shag rug here? And let's see. Yeah, and you see we're getting some dirt out. And this is why we always start with this step, even though on camera it's not very glamorous, so we don't usually show it. But we don't want to make our chemistry have to work harder and get wasted on fighting dirt that's just going to come out on its own. So whenever we do these lives, you guys kind of see the actual way we clean these rugs, not what we just kind of show you, what we think you guys would want to watch on camera. And Peggy, if you're talking about a shag rug like this, usually about $2.25 to $2.50 a square foot, something like that. This is a pretty weird size. This is a square rug. This looks like maybe 8 by 8. Oh, okay. So all of our prices, something like this is probably, if it's 8 by 8, it's probably somewhere between 130 to 160 bucks. Again, this is just a regular clean for us. Most of the rugs we get are in a much worse condition, so this is a pretty quick thing for us to clean, and you'll see that now. The other rug we're cleaning here, the red one, it's going to be, I think we're charging the customer around like $3.50 a square foot, something like that, maybe $3. So probably in the ballpark of like $350 to $400, depending on the size. And in general, with our business, if you drop a rug off to us, we give you a little bit of a discount. We do charge pickup and delivery as well. But even by charging pickup and delivery, it's a lot. We do so much volume here. It's a lot harder for us to. The hardest part of our job is actually finding the time to pick up and drop these rugs back off to customers. And so whenever they bring them to us, that's the best. And Ron, if you're still watching, you're going to start to see a lot of soap on this one probably. Shag rugs have a tendency to make a lot of soap, a lot of foam. Mostly because we end up having to put so much soap to actually get to all the dirt. Now, like the last rug, on the red rug, you don't see a lot of soap and foam. And that's because the PET treatment is very acidic. And it just doesn't usually, that chemistry kind of inhibits foam from forming. Now, when we clean it, when we actually clean the rug, you will see much more foam on that rug. And I'm going to assume it's going to be red. It's going to be red foam.
Yep.
And if you guys are just tuned in, we cleaned a whole bunch of rugs. We cleaned a couple of rugs already. We have a red one here that has existing bleeding, and let me see if I can get a little picture here. You can see a little bit of it. The red is still coming out.
Yeah.
Just a little. You can kind of see it in the trough there.
Yeah, right here.
And we are cleaning this shag rug right now. And we are coming at you live from Long Island, New York. And the name of our company is ATC Rug Washing. And shag rugs get very, very heavy when they're wet. They hold a ton of water. Hey, Zach, Can you find them some diapers for this? And you guys are going to get to see us diaper a rug, which is an industry term for covering a rug with some kind of cloth when we put it in the machine. That's for the red rug that we're going to get to as soon as we finish this one. I'm assuming they're going to need 2, probably. And if you guys have any questions about cleaning or us here at the business, by all means, please ask. Or if you want to just let us know where you're from. So far, we got, I believe, we got Wales, Louisiana, and Chicago. We're in New York. Hello, Miami. You're in the same time zone as us. Thank you for watching. And by the way, if you guys have any ideas for videos, let us know. We want to change it up a little bit. We're going to keep making the same cleaning content, but we were actually thinking about doing a video series on how you can treat some spots and spills on your rugs at home and some of your furniture, and we can kind of give you an idea what products you can use, and really how to, if you are going to get something, if something does happen and you are planning on getting clean, what you can do to mitigate the risk of kind of ruining it and making it really hard for the person that you do hire to clean. So yeah, if you have any ideas or any thoughts about content you want us to make or what parts of our video that you want to see more of, just let us know. You guys can rinse the bag if you want. You can rinse the bag. Oh, you did already. Yeah, okay. If they have algae on them, don't even take them. Find the ones that don't. Yeah. Don't do orange. Do the ones that have like the orange or the gray, that brownish color. Find any ones that don't have. Yeah. And if you're just tuning in, we are in the middle of cleaning this shag rug here, and we are going to finish up this red one that is bleeding all over the place. And you see Jamie there, she's filming for all the shorts that you guys see. Peggy, I'm going to guess in Louisiana, you actually might. We're in a pretty big network of cleaners all over the country. And if I can remember later, I'll try to find somebody. There's definitely, I don't know if they're posting videos on YouTube, but there's definitely a rug cleaner somewhere. There's got to be one somewhere. And actually, another big part of our business this time of year is we actually clean outdoor cushions. Especially, we have some videos on them actually, but especially ones with a lot of the green mold and black mold that you see on. Sometimes you might get if you leave your cushions out all winter or something like that. So to do this, they are very similar to the way you see a lot of videos of people cleaning couches. We're using the same equipment. We are using our truck mount, which I'll show you guys if you want to see. This machine is, it's a truck mount. It's a carpet cleaning machine, and it's actually built into our truck's engine. It's a direct drive machine. We have two of those machines. But let's get back to the rug washing. You can see in the distance here, we got all these cushions. All right, so we're going to get this one in our centrifuge, and then we are going to tackle the red one. Now these are very, very, very heavy, even after the squeegeeing. Yeah, maybe you grab the middle, and I'll try to grab an end. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Woo! Okay. Yep. Now, if you go and watch our videos from like a year and a half ago, we did not have this cart. And it was very, very, very difficult to put these rugs in this machine. And something else you guys never see on camera, we just made a whole mess on the floor, which we do use a water vacuum to pick up in between actually spinning these rugs. All right, while we're waiting for the floor to be cleaned up, okay. All right, so if you've never seen a rug video before or you want a little more information, this is a rug centrifuge. And what this machine does is it allows us to, number one, dry the rugs. But before we actually dry the rug in here, we actively rinse it. And this machine, all the videos you see where we're rinsing with the fire hose and using the squeegee and rinsing again, in about 20 seconds, this does more rinsing than we do in about 10 minutes on the wash floor. Right. So sometimes if you see like, oh, there's a little bit of dirt left in that rug, why are they putting it in here? Because this machine does a much better job than we could ever do you know, most of the time when we're using the squeegee here, we're really looking at, okay, you know, is there still urine in the rug that maybe we want to treat again? Or are there any weird stains that aren't going to come out that we want to work on either now or later? Stuff like that. So the door is closed. I'm going to start the machine. Now, this rug in here, you saw it go in rolled up. And as it spins in here, we have to get it to catch. And what that means is the rug actually opens up onto the walls of this machine. So when it's spinning properly, it doesn't look like how it is in there. It's actually open. And that sound you're hearing means it hasn't caught yet. Now, there's a couple of ways I can get it to catch. I'm going to put some water in it. And just bear with me a second as I actually do this. All right, now I can hear that it caught. So what I see is I don't hear any more noise in the machine. And also, the water is actually starting to come out of the rug. And this water, it's a little soapy, but pretty clear. I don't see a ton of dirt. So what I'm going to do first is we're going to let a lot of that water that was already in the rug come out. And then we're going to put some new water in it, see what it looks like, and do that a few more times. And if you're just tuning in, we're in the middle of cleaning a whole bunch of rugs. We have one in the centrifuge right now. And we are working on this red rug here that has a ton of bleeding and urine. I'm just going to operate the centrifuge over here for a second. Hello there from Scotland. Well, I appreciate you not working and watching us. All right, so I gave the rug a second rinse. And we'll see where it goes from there. Zach, you want to finish this one for me? It's got 2 rinses already. All right, so are we ready? He's ready. Are you ready? All right, let's do it, guys.
Rinse it out, ready to go? Just to confirm, oriental.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, with dye release. Okay. Yeah. All right, so if you're just tuning in, or you haven't seen us working on this yet, this rug has been sitting in our pet treatment. It has existing bleeding damage from not only the urine, but our customer tried to clean the rug themselves and put a very high pH chemical onto this rug, which started to break down the color. And for some reason, red, it always tends to be on the red side. Usually the blues don't bleed. I mean, they do. Every color bleeds. But other weird colors like yellow and green, they don't tend to really usually run. But on these rugs, the red is very susceptible to bleeding. And all of these dyes, they're vegetable dyes. So any type of, I guess for whatever reason, the chemistry on whatever vegetable dye they're using for the red colors tends to be less stable. And this rug has been sitting with our pet treatment, which we are now basically trying to get the pet treatment out, and then we are going to clean the rug. Now our pet treatment does have some cleaning property to it, but it's just not as good as our regular rug cleaner. So we are working on the back of the rug first. And you see that powder he's putting in, that's a product called dye release. And what that does is, on a molecular level, it binds any loose dye together and makes it too big to migrate anywhere else. Now, it doesn't really work on the fringes per se, and I can see there's a lot of red in these fringes now, and that's from the washing process now. But we are able to remove that. We might be able to remove that during the cleaning process now, but if not, it's something that we'll have to remove after. Now, the caveat to a rug like this is we cannot put water in it in our centrifuge, because the speed of the centrifuge combined with water will flush out any of that dye release that we have on it, and can definitely put the color where it doesn't belong. So any kind of rinsing that we are going to get from the wash floor. Now, the shampoo that we just put on this rug is a non-resoiling shampoo. It has surfactant in it, there's soap in it, but it's a little bit different than a lot of the other chemistry that you see us clean with. And what it actually does is it forms a bubble around dirt, and anything we leave behind, it crystallizes and is easily vacuumed away. So any dirt that gets left behind from this cleaning process, any soap we leave behind, we vacuum rugs after they're clean, after we wash them, at least 3 times. And actually sometimes certain rugs go through our dusting process again. And all of this soap, one way or another, either from the washing and rinsing in the center, multiple times and redusting, is removed. And a lot of times if we do leave some of the soap on here from the washing process, the way that this chemistry crystallizes allows us to further clean the rug when it's dry. And again, if you're just tuning in, we are cleaning a rug with existing bleeding and a tremendous amount of urine. And our customer tried to clean it themselves, and they unfortunately caused a lot of this red color you see to come out of the rug. And the urine, to be honest. And we are on the back of the rug. If you guys have any questions or just want to give a shout out to where you're from, please, by all means, let us know. All right, so now we are going to go to the front of the rug, rinse it out, and then clean the front of the rug. Let's just move some of that. Yep. And if you're just tuning in, I know I sound like a broken record for everybody who's been watching the whole time, but we are cleaning a rug here that has a ton of existing bleeding damage. Our customer tried to clean this rug themselves after they had a lot of urine on it, and they caused a lot of this red color to start to bleed. So the first thing we're trying to do, we're trying to get rid of all the urine so the rug is safe to go back in their home. And then we are going to hopefully mitigate some of the damage that they caused from the red color that they've loosened on the rug. And I have a feeling it's gonna look like murder when he does the squeegee right now. Now, once he squeegees a little more, I want to show you something. Now, you can see, now this is where most of the existing bleeding happened, and it's pretty, you can kind of see a lot of the colors are run here.
When it came in.
But the middle of the rug was in really good shape, and it still looks in really good shape.
Yeah.
And that's because the chemistry we're using is designed to work on rugs that have this exact problem. So a lot of the color that's all over this rug is not going into the white and the yellow and these other colors here.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's also brighter in the middle because it's much cleaner. And a lot of this dye, if this is, I don't know how old this rug is, but because they've been living on it, the rug is just dirty. So we're actually cleaning the rug, even though a lot of the color is coming out. And I know it looks like a lot of color is actually coming out, but when they make rugs like this, there is a tremendous amount of dye. And just a small amount of dye will make the color look, make our water look this red. And even over here where, actually over here, there was a little bit of existing bleeding already, and it's almost like some of that color never took. And it actually looks better on this side than when we started. And that was kind of the hope. This spot here, this must be where a lot of the urine was, because it's actually not just the red. I could actually see some of the other colors have bled too. And again, you know, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people that they go on YouTube or they think that all carpet is the same, and they go to like Home Depot and they rent something and they just kind of ruin their items. Yeah. Again, also, that rug has been sitting on the side for a while, and that red was just starting to build up in certain spots. But yes, you're seeing a little less red now. At a certain point, there's only so much color that is going to bleed unless we keep this rug wet for much longer than we have to, which, again, we're not going to do. And I see a bunch of people tuning in. We are in the middle of cleaning a rug here that has a ton of existing bleeding damage already and urine. So we got all the urine out of it, and now we are just actually cleaning the rug, and we are going to get it in our centrifuge with no water running, and hopefully we don't make the existing bleeding problem any worse. Do it. And I explained this before, if you're just tuning in now, the chemistry we're using here is a non-resoiling encapsulate shampoo. And we are going to leave some of this on the rug. And when it dries, it crystallizes and captures more dirt and is vacuumed away. So this rug will go through our dusting and vacuum process again after we clean it. But we have an ingredient in this shampoo that mitigates dye damage. And what it does on a molecular level is it binds loose dye together, so it becomes too big to go into other colors where it doesn't belong. We're going to do a very quick rinse after this, and we're going to get it in there. Yeah. Yes. And Joe, when you rinse this one, just get as much of the soap out of here, from the back there and around. Yeah. You have powder. You have powder. Yeah, you have it. All right, so this is going to be the final rinse on this, and then we are going to get it in the centrifuge. And I don't know if you've ever seen us do this. I don't think we have a lot of videos. I don't think I've seen a couple of the channels show this, but we're going to be doing a process called diapering the rug, which I will explain as we start to do it. Zach, you're going to help them put these down? If you guys have any questions, let us know. Yes, Peggy, it doesn't. So that in the middle, when we reopen this rug, a lot of that rug has just been sitting there and collecting like loose dye in pockets, and actually just the gravity is going to push it all the way to the bottom. So after we soak in our pet treatment, that first step when it comes out is always going to look like a ton of it. You are going to see, though, quite a bit of red come out of the centrifuge. And that's just us drying the rug. We actually, so we're not going to put any new, we're not going to introduce more water to this rug at any point now. And I've said it a couple times, we're going to diaper the rug, and this is what diapering the rug is. So what we're going to do here is, yeah, there is. Okay, so they're going to cover this rug in, we're just using canvas, just regular drop cloths. And what this does is, in the machine, when it's spinning, if the rug for any reason was to move, or this rug, parts of this rug will be on top of itself in the machine, any loose color will go into the canvas and not into the rug. And what happens sometimes when you're cleaning rugs that are bleeding, I don't think it's going to happen with this rug, but there's a lot of rugs that it does happen to, where it's a process called stamping. And what will happen to the rug is one part of the rug will slap in the machine another part of the rug, and whatever part hit the rug, you'll see a whole image of it show up on the rug. So if you have like a very unique border and the middle of the rug looks different, if the machine does that in there, you will see like that border now in the middle of the rug. Yeah, pull that corner out a little bit over there. Yep. That'll be all right. Pull the whole thing down a little bit, just to get a little more. Yeah, nice and even. Yeah, that's okay. Because we're not putting any water in there. Yeah. And normally the way our centrifuge works, we have to put the rug in a very specific location. But we don't really have to do that with this because we're not going to rinse the rug in the machine. And yes, there is a second scraper. But a lot of times when we're cleaning, whoever's doing the rinsing just does the rinsing. Because sometimes while the person's scraping, we introduce more water. But any other scraper we have is a much heavier, it's a roller. For some reason, we never really got, our wash was not that big, so we never really got a second scraper. Yep. And there's a good chance with this rug, when we take this canvas off, you are going to see, you might see a mirror image of the rug on the canvas. Yeah, this is heavy. Can you get the pole, the metal pole? All right, so guys, we got to move this down a little bit so we can get the pole in it. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Got it. Yeah. Now this is it should. This is a very heavy rug, and we added the canvas to it. So we're actually going to put this metal pole in it. You find it?
Go through.
Pull it back out and like throw it at him. Try to find it in here.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Somebody go.
All right, guys. Yep. Actually, we got plenty of guys here. Let's just pick it up. And try to grab that pipe. Yep. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Okay. Make sure we get that metal pole out of it before it goes in. Yep. Yep. Good stuff. You guys can go in there a little deeper. Push that in more. Yep. Keep going. All right. And while they're getting that going, let's see how much red we have left. Not too bad. All right, guys. Let's try to push that in a little more. There you go. Yep, more. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Okay. And just pull that down a little bit. Okay. Okay, so let's give this a spin. You can't put water in this. Yeah. So let me, I got it. All right, so I can tell that every time we do one of these, it's a little bit of a process, and we're live, so. But I can tell every time we do one of these, I can tell them it actually caught now in the rug, and in the centrifuge. And the way I can tell is because now it's actually caught, and the water is actually starting to come out. And all we're doing now with this step is we are just drying the rug. So as soon as this level of water gets to like kind of just like a little bit of a dribble coming out, we're going to take this out, and we're going to go pretty slow with the speed. And again, we're trying to stop the color from going to other spots in the rug while actively drying the rug. I'm going to put the speed up a little bit. Slowly but surely, we're going to get less and less water. Now, there is another option. I could also, if for some reason I felt like I only wanted to spin it for 2 or 3 minutes, I could take it out and we can dry it with our truck. And we're lucky that our shop has these trucks to facilitate when we clean these rugs. And I can see in the distance that it's getting a little bit less water coming out. I'm going to speed it up a little bit more. And a rug like this, we're going to actually dry it flat. If we hang the rug on our racks, as the water and the moisture falls from gravity, it has a tendency to obviously take that color with it. And it gets, it can really make the fringes much worse. And again, we're trying to mitigate how much of this color moves around. And once the rug is dry, the color will no longer move.
Oh, on this.
All right, and I can see we're starting to get a lot less water coming out. So we'll probably need about another 30 seconds, maybe a minute. And I think we are going to use our truck to dry this one a little bit more. And you can see this is a 10-minute countdown. The rug has been in there just over 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go a tiny touch faster. And we're gonna give it like 30 more seconds. And then guys, we're gonna take this rug and we're gonna bring it over here. All right, and I think we're just about done because I'm seeing a very small amount of water now come out of the centrifuge. From the camera here, you can't even see it. So I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. Hit the stop button. This machine has its own little brake. It stops really quick. Okay, so as soon as we see this bearing stop here, we can open the machine and let's take a look. Okay, so this is actually a good example of what I was talking about. So you see how the rug, it's a little hard to see with the canvas here, but you see how the rug is actually stuck to the machine? This whole rug is open. And what we do is we actually run it backwards and we see if it'll see, oh, there you go. You start to see it falls off the walls. And now we can pull it out. So they're going to pull it out on this cart here. And we are going to dry it a little bit with the truck mount. And then we'll groom it, and we'll put a bunch of fans on it. Sometimes we, depending on what it looks like when we get it over there, we actually turn it upside down to dry. And that'll cause any of the loose dye to actually go to the back of the rug instead of the front. And most customers are much happier if there's some bleeding on the back of their rug rather than the front. And again, if you just tuned in now, we just cleaned this rug here, which our customer tried to clean themselves after having a pretty big urine issue. And the rug had a ton of existing bleeding. And let's see how we did. Now you can see, I was saying before we put it in the machine, how much red is going to get into this canvas layer. And you can see a ton of red is in here. Now this canvas is pretty wet, so we're going to pull this off. But the rug itself came out great. So now we're going to take our truck, and we are just going to further dry this, see if we can get any more of that loose color out, which it's pretty dry. I don't really see a ton coming out here. And then we're going to groom the rug and just dry right on the floor. And if you just tuned in now, I actually think you missed a pretty good live. We cleaned a shag rug, a couple other regular synthetic rugs, and this rug here that had a ton of bleeding. And I have to say, I'm pretty happy the way this turned out. I know, like, I wanted to do something live that I knew would be very unique. I'd never seen anybody clean a rug they knew was going to bleed live, but I'm glad we did. And I think this actually turned into a pretty good video. Let me know in the comments if you guys enjoyed watching us. All right, and the final step, whenever we clean a rug, is Juan is going to groom it. And what the grooming does is it puts the fibers back in their natural direction. Every rug has a light side and a dark side. We're looking at the light side right now. If I walk around the rug, it's going to look much darker. And some people like the dark side, some people like the light side. Whenever we deliver a rug back to somebody, we always open it towards the light side. Unless they tell us they want something different. But yeah, you can see all that red that came out of the rug. None of it really went anywhere it wasn't supposed to. I don't really think the existing area got much better. But to be honest, in the condition the rug was in, the amount of color we saw coming out of it, there's not really much we can do to fix that. The only way to really fix color loss is to actually take more color out. And when you watch this video and you see how much color came out, I don't think we wanted to try to actively take even more color out. Usually it just gives us more problems. And I think our customer is going to be very happy with the result. So, okay. I am Pat Santoro with ATC Rug Washing. I've been your camera guy for the day. We really appreciate everybody watching. It seems like everybody really likes the live videos we've been making, so we're going to keep making them. We're going to do at least one a week. Try to do maybe 2 a week if we can. And yeah, we really appreciate you guys watching. We got Joe here. We got Anthony here. We got Jamie. Hello, Lynn. And hello, Bet Guy. We got Zach, Juan, Justin, Jason, my father, Pat Sr. He's out there doing big business, so he's not here today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. We thank you for watching, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next live. Oh, and is Ruggy here? No, Ruggy's gone, so we'll show you guys Ruggy later. Have a wonderful day. Thank you again. Thank you everybody for watching, and we hit 10,000 subscribers. We really appreciate everybody who keeps subscribing and liking our videos. Thank you so much.